Hello and welcome to Critical Idiots. Today we forget to film an intro. In a new twist of the MCU canon, WandaVision follows Wanda Maximoff and Vision, living in a 50s sitcom. But things are not as they seem in Westview, as every episode they go through the ages of television, and Vision finds out that he is trapped in a creation of Wanda's mind.
I really like the idea of the show, just like, you know, as a pitch, that I like it's kind of meta-textual TV, kind of cosmic mystery.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird mishmash of things, but
Yeah.
I think it pulls together quite well.
Yeah, well, I felt like I was really, really liking the series, and especially in the first two episodes. But it kind of fell short for me as it went on, especially those last two.
Yeah, there's eventually a point that we have to, you know, sort of exit this world and go back into sort of the real world and understand what's sort of happening. And I felt every time I left the WandaVision world, I was just waiting to get back.
It was the least interesting aspect of the show.
Yeah, and it's not that there weren't like fun characters and fun little setups and stuff, but it just really paled in comparison to all of that sort of stuff. That was just, and also especially for Marvel, because it just started to feel a lot more Marvel-like. Whereas in the first couple episodes, it's comedy. There's like Wanda has a problem to solve, and Vision do, and they use their powers a bit, but it's not like they have to fight anyone.
Yeah.
And then when we start to get more into like the military stuff and everything, it just starts to feel more of what you're used to.
Yeah.
I like that aspect of. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, this whole Marvel stuff, but if you're
Well, that's what the show is. That's what makes it.
Yeah, true. But like, if you're a Marvel fan and also like sort of those classic sitcom fans, which I'm not sure if there's an overlap, but I mean for me there is. I love the hell out of I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched and all that stuff. But yeah, it's really nice seeing those two things cross together. I mean, when it does become more Marvel, it gets a little bit more boring.
Yeah.
But overall...
But up until it kind of runs out and it goes to Modern Family and it stops doing the sitcom shtick, it's still, every episode's kind of fun and different and interesting and unique. It's really, for me, after that ran out, I was kind of like, why am I still watching this? Can we just figure this out?
In saying that, though, I feel like the reason why I was still watching it is because of Agatha.
Yeah.
She killed the show. Catherine Hahn killed that.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, I loved every bit of that. And, coming from Parks and Rec and all those little minor side characters that she does to actually move into a full-blown thing and to see her as a villain is very interesting, and I think she plays it off really well.
I think it was the second last episode where her and Wanda are sort of walking around a bit of a memory
trip down
universe.
A little memory lane.
And it was just super exposition-y.
Yeah.
And it felt very unmotivated.
And I hope this isn't a trend we're going to see continue, because we were talking about how Bly Manor did the same thing. The second last episode of that series was a kind of flashback, exposition episode. So that when you go into the finale, you know everything, all the questions will have been answered.
Yeah.
But it really doesn't work for me. It's like you should be building tension, so that last episode's ridiculous.
Yeah. And I like the sort of that trip down memory lane in itself, like the way it was shot and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just between it, there'd be these dialogues where they explained exactly what you saw and what relevance it has, and like, just let us figure it out ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we can piece it together.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like when Wanda's sitting there looking at herself watching old TV shows, like, that's why this whole thing is a sitcom.
Yeah.
Do we need that? Like, why don't we just enjoy it as a sitcom and be like, oh, this is fun, quirky, and interesting? No.
I kind of assumed that she just grew up on American TV.
Yeah.
But I guess, I appreciate
I don't mind them
it.
showing it.
Yeah.
It's just more when they like...
When they just
then go out
spell it out for you. It's a bit...
Yeah, then it cuts back to them and it's like, she's retreated into a world of comfort because that's all she knew.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, cool. I know. I really, in the last scene, because White Vision is at the end of the second last episode, is the post credits tease, and it's like, oh shit, this is gonna be a huge battle they're gonna have.
Oh yeah,
and they have a pretty big battle, but they end up just chatting.
I love that.
I really liked the conversation they had, but then he kind of just fucks off.
Yeah.
We don't see him again.
Yeah, that is the one that's the one big flaw that made me sort of angry.
And I thought that meant that like they were gonna fuse like.
Yeah,
that he could actually leave the thing.
Yeah, I thought that would have been much better.
Yeah.
I just on some of the pros, especially with the early episodes. I've sort of seen it in some other things, like I guess especially for the like 50s style. Was it Pleasantville?
Yeah.
Comes to mind in terms of that parody, but I thought they did it also really well. Where like, you know, the show starts out and they're both sleeping in separate beds. Because you didn't show couples in one bed back in the day. Just those elements of the culture that existed and that weren't necessarily talked about, but you got to experience through TV and how those identities changed.
Yeah,
and they did a really good job of that.
Yeah, and as also not just like homages to sitcoms that obviously the writers love, but just as episodes of that type. You know, of that genre, they're actually good sitcom episodes.
Yeah,
like I enjoyed the antics they got up to, especially in the Bewitched episode.
Yeah,
and I respect Marvel for. I mean, they know that people are going to watch their show anyway, but I respect Marvel for the first 2 episodes are just kind of real slow burns. We get a few little teasers and hints that something's really off.
Yeah,
but it's really kind of just a contemporary version of Bewitched and I Dream. What is it? Bewitched and
I Dream of Jeannie.
No,
it wasn't I Dream. It was like
well the first one's Honeymoon is sort of thing.
I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you get to the Bewitched style episode, it's almost not really a take because it's just a similar setup. That this is a person with magical abilities who's trying to hide it.
Yeah.
And that's the same setup as Bewitched, and it's not even subverting anything too much besides for it being a Marvel character.
Yeah.
Just going along those lines, I love the ideas that Vision comes up with, trying to disguise himself. Like, oh, sorry, I didn't see that. I was looking at this pillar really, really close. I thought it was, some of those little tropes are just hilarious.
And getting to know the characters in the town made the moment that we realised that they're just trapped in a prison of their own mind a lot more powerful later on too.
Yeah, especially like, say with Agatha, is like talking to Wanda and she's like, do you want to say that line again? And everyone's just sitting there going, what the fuck just happened? What?
Yeah, I really enjoyed those moments.
Yeah, it's just
where
those
they
little
rewind or
like really weird. Yeah, like you said, the parts where it's like this is not normal.
Yeah.
And I think they executed it really well. Speaking of executing things really well, the original episode, you know how in say Marvel movies they have all these really giant special effects and VFX and all that stuff, and Owen's eating chips.
Fix it in post.
But in the first episode, they used like classic special effects, like strings and wires and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that was a genius move on Marvel's part, like not doing special effects.
Well, yeah, they
use practical effects.
And I believe they tried to get if not get the actual film stock replicate the look really faithfully. The costumes and sets were all really lovely.
The aspect ratio.
Yeah.
Oh, the aspect ratio changes were crazy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And
if you watch it in fast forward, you'd be tripping.
I wonder if anyone was just like slugging through those first 2 because they can't stand black and white.
Yeah.
And this is just boring to me.
That must have switched off a couple of people. Like, there's no way.
Totally. And also just been like, all right, well, the second episode now, let's check this out. And you're like, what?
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And then it expands at the end.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that no one would have.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't have gone through 2 episodes if, you can't tolerate it.
I was really even enjoyed the opening credit homages where they would go through and they did a really good job of, I remember like Malcolm in the Middle sort of one felt very, like some of them were like a bit more direct parodies than homages, but I felt like they did such a good job of like creating the mood of the 90s sitcom, family sitcom sort of thing, the quirky, fast-paced, Yeah. Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. Like what they've done.
As a fan of TV, it's just so, it's so inviting.
Yeah.
The first like 6-8 episodes.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh no, they're all 8 episodes, right?
No, there's 9.
No.
9. Yeah.
But yeah, the first 7.
Yeah.
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 I'm trying to guess like what would be next week. So if the 60s was like All in the Family or whatever it is, I can't remember, the Brady Bunch,
Yeah.
or whatever, then what would the 70s be? What would the quintessential 70s?
I think, was it the 70s Brady Bunch? 60s was Bewitched.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But still just trying to figure it, like
Yeah,
after you watch that
yeah.
episode, trying to think of what they'll do next
Like,
week.
what's 80s? Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that also for the 7th episode, being like, what was the 2000s then?
Yeah.
Yeah, generally my pros are just, I really love the it's like metatextual nature, that it's like a TV show about TV shows where the TV show is effectively a prison for a character.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that kind of sci-fi twist on a sitcom.
Yeah, it's a little bit like horrendous, but also entertaining.
Yeah, and also I thought it was kind of cute that I saw Elizabeth Olsen. I call her Lizzie. I saw Lizzie doing an interview back when Age of Ultron came out, and she was like, obsessed with Wanda's storyline, where she's stuck in a dream and she has kids and a husband and they all die, and then she goes crazy. But they'll never do that. That's too dark for Marvel.
Shit.
And they totally did.
They totally did that.
Yeah. I liked that line where they're like, we've said goodbye before, so it begs that we'll say hello again.
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, it was a really cute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about new Pietro or old Pietro.
Oh yeah. I mean, I fucking don't even remember Age of Ultron. Like, I really couldn't care about the actor.
I also I haven't really been in touch with Marvel for a long time. Probably only since Endgame.
Yeah.
Have I really been?
Well, this version of Pietro is from the X-Men universe, which is the mind blow here.
So that actor has appeared in the X-Men
as Pietro, yeah.
Yeah, whereas in the more Marvel one, it's been some other dude.
Yeah, it's Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Oh, the guy that played Kick-Ass.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think that people were expecting some bigger characters and some bigger drops. Like, I know that there was there's someone special going to be on this episode.
Yeah.
And then it turns out to be Pedro. And for me, I was like...
It was Paul Bettany. He was like, you gotta watch out in WandaVision. We worked with a real big star. Someone on set, got on with him really well. It was great having him there. And you guys gotta watch out for this cameo. And he was talking about the White Vision, and he was making a joke.
Oh!
That he was the big star.
Yeah.
And so,
that's a bait.
I know, but everyone saw that and was like, oh shit, because WandaVision's going to be in Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange, so Doctor Strange is going to come in.
They were saying that long before WandaVision even started.
Yeah.
So what's up with that? I mean, would something...
Or because Wanda's father is Magneto, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, they were saying that Magneto might show up in the Facebook forum.
Magneto or Professor X might show up. Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Yeah.
But I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not.
I was very happy with what I got.
I found the ending a bit anticlimactic. That when they were Wanda and Agatha were dancing around in the sky, shooting shitty VFX cloud lasers at each other.
I thought the VFX were alright.
I thought the VFX in the rest of the show were really good, but there's something about these cloud lasers that I wasn't into.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Okay.
They weren't casting light or something. I don't know. But I didn't care about that. But then when it was Vision fighting Vision, more just Vision talking to Vision, and then talking about Theseus's ship or whatever. That paradox. I was like, this is fantastic.
Yeah, this is good.
And then cuts to Wanda and Agatha just blasting each other in the sky. I was like, this. It just felt too unreal, and it didn't feel like what the rest of the show was.
Yeah.
Just giving these characters could manipulate basically all of reality. I wanted something fucking crazy rather than just your regular Marvel superhero style battle in the sky.
And like sans Captain Marvel, I'm pretty sure Wanda's meant to be like one of the most powerful characters in the MCU.
Yeah.
Especially if she can do what she did in WandaVision. So I thought, it was going to be ridiculous. But it was kind of just a bit,
Or there'd be a bit more like,
Man of Steel.
mental sort of torture stuff that would be going on, that Agatha would be manipulating this world to make, Wanda live out sort of moments from her past more. Deal with that sort of shit a lot more.
I did like Wanda's kind of anti-hero arc where she really wasn't necessarily a good guy in this story.
Yeah.
But she kind of redeemed herself in the end.
Yeah.
Where and I guess this goes to the point of like the reason, her sacrifice was important in the show, is because she gave up her family to make things right and free everyone. And it was the only way is to let go of the things that she loved so that she could save everyone, which in the end is heroic, even though it was very fucked up for her to like kidnap everyone and enslave them for months.
They even say at the end, like, the town is never going to forgive her for what she's done.
Yeah, when she's walking out, they're giving her like the dirtiest looks in the world. They're like, you fucking whore.
You cunt.
I can't believe you. You weren't ridiculously strong.
As a standalone sort of thing, I thought this was pretty alright. In the grand scheme of things of Marvel and the MCU, I thought it could have been a little bit better. It's nowhere near any of the, their top movies. But it's nowhere near the bottom, actually. It's it's not like your Hulks or your Thor the Dark Worlds. So I'm very happy with what this has done, and I think Marvel have done a really great transition into the TV universe. So I'm excited to see what they do next in the phase 4 of the MCU. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a 7.
I mean, because this isn't Marvel's debut in television, but it's their debut on Disney Plus. And they finally got all the rights back to all their stuff. So it's like way better than like the Luke Cage show. Or like, trying to think of another Marvel show, the Daredevil, that TV show on Netflix.
I think Jessica Jones is meant to be alright.
Maybe.
It was, I think, in the first couple of seasons, and then
they just usually don't have the budgets to do these giant popcorn things.
Yeah.
And Disney totally gave this the budget that it needed.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed the majority of the show. I had some qualms with the later half of not even the later half, the last 2 episodes really kind of affected my rating. But overall, I really enjoyed the show, and I would recommend it to Marvel fans. That it's not maybe essential viewing, though I'm sure Marvel intends it to be. That all the characters we saw in this, we're going to start to see pop up here and there. Same with Falcon and Winter Soldier. But I would say give it a watch if you're into Marvel. But overall, it's not stunning television. It's very interesting, but I'll give it a 6.
I quite enjoy this show a lot. I thought it was a good step for Marvel into something that, I don't know, isn't something you have to sit through for 2 hours, but still get a lot of that fun quirkiness. I think, especially as comic books used to be, very episodic, having TV does work really well for some of these stories, or at least some of these characters. Even if it is an overarching something that's building up. I did think the last 2 episodes were quite a bit of anticlimactic, or just really weren't what I was looking for an ending. Maybe it was a lot more satisfying to people who are bigger comic book fans, or bigger, specifically, Wanda fans, and know the lore. Overall, I found it a lot more funny than Marvel usually is, and just a lot more entertaining than I think Marvel usually is for me. So I think I'd give it a 7.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. What did you think of this TV show? Let us know in the comments below. And be sure to follow our Letterboxd pages, all of which can be found in the description. Oh yeah, and I also forgot to mention that we have a new Twitch stream. So be sure to follow that at Critical Idiots Stream. I think that's it. If not, then it'll be in the description below. So yeah, make sure you follow that one, because we play games and it's pretty awesome and funny. So yeah, take care guys. Have a great one.